following a character's reasoning is sometimes easier than following an author's. Do we know what the character is thinking? It is much easier to follow reasoning when the story is told from the perspective of a character, but it isn't impossible, even when it isn't. The character's point of view can be given as a first, second, or third person account. First person accounts use words I, me, my, mine. Second person accounts use words you, your, yours, and third person use the words he, she, her, him, their, theirs. In first-person narration, it is easy to follow a character's reasoning. We only need to pay attention to what the narrator tells us they are feeling and thinking, and we will understand what the main character is feeling. In the example above, we can identify that it is a first-person account because of the use of the pronoun I. We can also understand how the narrator is feeling by their statement, I knew when the class started we would be taking the most important exam of the semester. The second-person account is when the protagonist or another main character is referred to in the second person. It is a rare perspective in novels. However, there are works that use the second-person narrative. These works are self-help books, choose-your-own-adventure books, comic books, and blogs, to name a few. Third-person limited can be difficult. Sometimes the narrator knows the feelings and thoughts of the main character. Sometimes even that is not known. Here we must think about their actions and words and what we know about them to reach a logical conclusion about their reasoning. There are two types of third-person accounts, omniscient or limited. The third-person omniscient narrative knows all the characters' names, what they are thinking, and their backgrounds. In the example provided, we can see the detail provided about the character's actions and movements. The third-person limited narrative, on the other hand, may not know everything about the characters in the story. The narrative is told with the perspectives of both Barbara and Kevin. In the example provided, we can see that Barbara is wondering why Kevin is angry, but we do not know anything else about the other character, Kevin. The narrative is told solely from the perspective of Barbara. Read the passage adapted from The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Let's try to follow the character's reasoning in the passage. Let's try to follow the character's reasoning in the passage. First, read the passage and identify the claim the character is making. In this case, we can say Hester, who is Pearl's mother, and the narrator of the passage, makes the argument that her child is an airy sprite. Now, let's see the evidence provided by the character. The first way Hester persuades us to follow her logic is by explaining the look that makes Pearl seem as if she were not real. The author tells us Hester's experiences and uses vivid descriptions to show her reasoning. Words such as inexplicable, wild, and intangible, and phrases like wild flow of spirits, deeply black eyes, and a strange remoteness show us the untamed quality of the child, while the comparison to a glimmering light shows how she is ethereal. Finally, the author gives Finally, the author gives us a more specific example of Pearl's curious personality. Pearl's laugh makes Hester more sure that she's not a real human child. This brings us back to the beginning, where Pearl is compared to a mocking sprite. Together, these descriptions form the logic of the narrative, explaining to the audience why Hester doubts the humanity of her child.